Welcome back for another week in the cookie jar. Today we are making the third recipe out of the Strawberry Shortcake Murder. They are the Oatmeal Raisin Crisps. That's this one right here. So we are baking right away. So we're preheating the oven to 375. We're going to need 1 cup of melted butter, 2 sticks, half a pound, 2 cups of white sugar, 2 teaspoons vanilla, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 large eggs beaten, just whip them up with a fork, 2½ cups of flour, no need to sift, 1 cup of raisins, either regular or golden, you choose, 2 cups ground dry oatmeal, measure before grinding. Now it doesn't say what kind of oatmeal, quick oats, rolled oats, or anything like that. So I don't know how much it matters. The only real notes on this is that Andrea likes these. She's never liked raisins. Go figure. Okay, so it says to melt the butter, which obviously I've already done because I lay everything out. And then prepare your oatmeal. Measure out 2 cups, jump it in the food processor, chop it up until it's a coarse sand, dump it in your dough, mix it all up. So I've already actually gone ahead and ground the oatmeal as well. So all of our stuff is already prepped and ready in the kitchen. So let's get in there and get baking. All the ingredients we're using today. Okay, so we have our melted butter in the bowl. Now we're just going to add in the sugar, the 2 cups of white sugar. And we are going to mix that in. And then we're adding the 2 teaspoons of vanilla, the half a teaspoon of salt, and the 2 teaspoons of baking soda. We're just going to give that a mix. All right, so the next thing is it says when this is cooled to room temperature, add the eggs. So I think it's pretty cold. So I think it's probably, oh yeah, if that's not room temperature, it's on the colder side of things. So we're just going to go ahead and add the eggs. Mix those in. Once we're pretty sure the eggs are mixed in well, we're going to add in the flour. And it doesn't say increments, it just says add it in. I'm going to do this slowly. Once that's in there, we're going to add in the raisins. That's the 1 cup of raisins. And we're going to add the ground dry oatmeal. And it does say use Quakers if you have it. The cardboard canister is useful for all sorts of things. But like I said, even in the cardboard canisters, they still have at least 3 different varieties. So I don't know how much it matters. So we've already coarse meal. I'm just going to add that in there and mix it up. It says it will be fairly stiff. And that's all there really is to the dough other than putting it on the trays. Very quick, very fast dough. So we got the oven preheated to 375. I have my trays with the non-stick mats. I have a new scooper because I broke my other one, unfortunately. This one's, I don't think quite as big. I think it's somewhere like a tablespoon and a quarter. It's a little more than a tablespoon, but it's not quite a tablespoon and a half, unfortunately. But it'll be the same thing, scooping it up, straightening it out, and then just plopping it down. It does say to put them on a greased cookie sheet, 12 to a standard sheet. If they're too sticky, put the dough in the fridge for 30 minutes. And then we're going to put a crisscross pattern like peanut butter cookies on them. I have noticed in some of the other editions, the later books, where it says to do this, and then in later printings, they take it out. I would not be surprised if this is one of them, because it's not showing the crisscross pattern very well. It's sticking in between the tongs. I think it's tines. Yeah, this part to me seems pretty useless. I'm not sure what point it's supposed to make or if it's just part of a decoration, but I don't think it's worth it. There is the first tray. Like I said, you can barely see the crisscross. It doesn't really seem necessary or important in any way. If I were just making these to make them, I probably would not bother putting it on any of the other ones. They do seem slightly sticky. I probably, if I was rolling them by hand, would stick it in the fridge for at least 10 minutes, maybe not 30, but definitely some time. Something I'm wondering while I'm doing this is I think the last time we did this, we did it with chocolate chips in it. And I had the same problem of the chocolate chips keep getting in the way of the fork pushing down. So I am starting to think that when you have bigger chunks of things like nuts or raisins or chocolate chips, cross-hatching is not a good idea. And like I said, in later books, I know for a fact, at least one of them took it off their recipe. I noticed that when I originally started the chocolate chip murder. I can't remember exactly which one. It might have been the chocolate chip crunch cookies that took it off. All right, we have finally finished. We ended up with 67 cookies. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5 dozen pretty much. Now they're gonna go in the oven at 375 for 10 minutes, cool for 2 minutes, and then put on wire racks. And here we have our finished cookies, all 67 of them. The final oatmeal raisin crisp. Honestly, it tastes a bit like the base of a chocolate chip cookie, but it's got the raisins in there. It's a good cookie. I could totally eat a batch of these. They definitely have that crunch to them that give them their crisp name. Overall, good cookie. It's fast. It's easy. You most of the time have all the ingredients on hand. So I think this is one of the better recipes we've done so far just because of that fact. It's quick, it's easy, everything's there. You can throw them together in probably less than 10 minutes because you're melting the butter, not waiting for it to come to room temperature. So that's quick and fast. Next week, if you're joining us, we will be making the Cocoa Snaps, which is the next recipe. That sounds like a crunchy chocolate cookie. And I don't think there'll be any surprises there. So I'm finding these recipes between the 3 books that we've done so far, the first, the half, and the second. Their cookie recipes are on point. Their candy recipes are hit and miss. And all the other random stuff they put in there just seems to kind of, yeah. But their cookie recipes, I have yet to find a bad one. So I'm really happy about that. Okay, so I will see you guys next week. Join us at the cookie jar.